welcome back to Jordan's Everyday DIY. Been working on these guitars, and today what I want to do is I want to get the neck plate and the neck drilled out for the threaded inserts. So today I'll be putting two of these 3/8 inch threaded inserts. It's got a 1/4-20 inside threaded area for 1/4-20 bolts that I'll use to attach the neck. So today I want to get these drilled out. I like to use a 9mm drill bit for these inserts. Gives just enough bite and doesn't give you too much to where you're splitting the wood when you put it into the neck. So today I'm going to be taking my template that I have here from acrylic. I've got a straight edge, cut it in or scribed in a straight line. That'll line up with the neck. What I'll do is, since my spacing is already set with this jig that I made last time, what I'll do is I'll lay that on the top of the guitar and I will flush it out with the top of this. Flush it out with the top, line up the scribed line with the center line on the guitar, and I'll put a pencil through these two holes here. The top hole is to line up for my truss rod, and I'll make marks in there that I can drill through the neck block. That'll be the bolts that'll come through there. I'll use this same jig. Grab the neck here. Since this flushes out with the top of the guitar, I will use the same principle. Flush this out on the top of it, line it up with the center, make the marks on the neck, and drill this out. Now when we drill this out, when you make your guitar, you'll need to take into account, obviously, the thickness of your neck block. Mine happens to be 1.5 inches thick. I have 2-inch 1/4-20 bolts that I use to bolt these on. So really, all I need to do is go no more than 1/2 inch into the neck. Now, I'll typically go 5/8, 3/4 in there. I have enough space to do that. That way I can kind of make sure I get it nice and tight when I tighten up those bolts, but obviously don't want to bust anything out, so you can't over tighten them either. So what I'll do on that, as you'll see in the video, is I'll take a piece of tape, mark my drill bit, so I'm sure not to go past that depth. Obviously you don't want to go so deep that you blow out the front of your neck, otherwise you're starting over. So let's get these things marked up, drilled out. I think one of the other things I'll explain is that to drill this neck, a buddy of mine showed me a long time ago, just a very simple way. Obviously I'm not getting this on my drill press to get a nice square drill. So I have a little bit of a drill block that I've made over the years. I got for if I want to go in 1/4 inch or in 3/8 inch, all that. Got some straight square lines drawn on. As long as I have a flat surface sitting on it, I can just make sure that my drill bit is one against the block so that it's square this way. And then I hold it square to the line up and down so that I'm not going in at an angle. It gives me a pretty darn good square drill. So what I'll do is I have a line here that you can see on the long side. I'll put this up on the body. I'll take my 9mm. I'll line that up with my hole. Before I drill, I'm gonna put my glasses on, make sure I'm close. Just showing you this. And what I'll do is I'll put this against the drill bit and I'll hold that drill bit on that line, and that makes sure I get a nice straight hole into the body of the guitar. So let's get these marked. Line up that line, it's very simple. Flush that out with the top. Standard number 2 pencil is great for the hole that I have drilled here. Fits just snug. Gives me a nice little center dot. Okay. Not sure if you'll be able to see those 2 dots in there. I'll do the same thing on the body. Now the body, or I'm sorry, on the neck, the thing I like to do is put this flat on a surface like this. Tilt the camera down a little bit. Obviously takes all the guesswork out of where that top surface is. Squat down here, I'm going to line up the line. I'll make my marks. Okay, got that marked. So let's go back to the body. Let's drill off this body. Should have those drilled nice. Should be centered up. Usually reach up in there, make sure there's no large flakes. There's a lot in the body. We'll get that cleaned out later. That goes over there. Now, if you recall, I don't want to go any deeper than a certain depth into the neck. So I want to get this measured, get a piece of tape on my drill bit so I know my depth. Okay, same thing with this. I am going to hold this flat, hold this on there, and drill accordingly. Not sure if you can see this. I'll try to keep my head out of the way. All right, it's about that simple. Now the inserts go in with an Allen key. Take this nice and slow so you can try to keep it square and listen for any cracking. If you're going to get any cracking, you want to go just a touch bigger on the hole. At this point, you're trying to keep everything as clean as you can. Got a lot of this somewhat finished sanded. So obviously you don't want to get anything going where you start messing this up. So let's put this neck in here. Okay, I'm back. I had to pause for a minute there, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to tell you about a mistake I made. For those of you that were doing the math with me, wasn't thinking, sorry. I had to go back and I had to drill this deeper by another 1/2 inch. Remember I said going about 5/8. Now I went in about 1 3/16 or so. Reason being, wasn't thinking, obviously, is this 1/2 inch mortise, right? Or tenon that goes into the mortise, I lose that 1/2 inch. So in overall thickness. Wasn't thinking about that when I got ready to bolt this together. As soon as I put the bolt in there, I'm thinking, this bolt is long. I didn't take into account the math. So went back, drilled these a little deeper, just removed the inserts, drilled them deeper. Now we're gonna put this on. Sorry about that. All right, odds are I sped that up on the video. You couldn't tell. Take your time tightening that. You'll notice I held my hand and stuff in here. You obviously don't want to mess up anything that you've done here in the sound hole. But basically, it's got a pretty nice fit on it. See that edge? We can do the little sandpaper trick if you've seen that on some videos, just to make sure that's nice and tight, nice clean fit. Little butt veneer I put on there to kind of match the back. Looks pretty good. Next, what we'll do is we'll get the truss rod in there and get the fretboard glued on. That way we can get the nut put on, do the head veneers, and keep going. Well, that's how you drill out and attach the neck of the guitar. So thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, again, please hit the subscribe button. We've got a lot of little projects. These are just kind of some of mine. A lot of decorating ideas that my wife Melissa has. We'll do some of those on the videos as well. But please hit subscribe and tune in again. Next time we'll come in and we'll glue these fretboards on. Talk to you then.